spying on queer students and then outing them to teachers and parents. Since spring of last year, Minneapolis schools have been using an online surveillance application called Gaggle to spy on students' online activity. The software flags LGBTQ-related terms and has already outed at least one student to their parents. Gaggle monitors students' online behavior 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by tracking their school-issued Google and Microsoft accounts. Such accounts are likely to be used more often by poorer students who lack personal home computers. Gaggle scans the students' emails, chat messages, and other documents, including class assignments, personal files, and the search for keywords, images, or video that could indicate self-harm, violence, or sexual behavior. Gaggle's moderators then evaluate the flagged content and report any troubling finds to school officials, who can then contact a student's parents or the police. Please watch this.
While Gaggle says that it saves many student lives over the course of the year, one major problem with Gaggle is that there just isn't any independent research to confirm whether or not it's an effective intervention. Hi, my name is Mark Keyerlieber, and I'm a reporter at the 74. For the last year, I've been researching how Gaggle, a student surveillance company, monitors and tracks student behaviors on the internet during the pandemic. Gaggle attaches to the Google accounts that are associated with students' school accounts, and it looks at keywords that students type on their school computers, as well as a team of content moderators that sift through billions of student communications every year in search of potential problems. To better understand how Gaggle works, I submitted a public records request with the school district in Minneapolis that includes roughly 1,300 incidents over a 6-month period to see just, under the hood about how the program works and what it's tracking. And I found that the largest share of incidents were related to pornographic materials, but the second largest category was the one that was potentially the most interesting and problematic during the pandemic, and that's related to suicide and self-harm. So there's concerns among civil rights groups and privacy advocates that students are being flagged by a surveillance company and monitored not just by people that they don't know in a remote location that are employed by Gaggle, but are also being passed along to the school security staff and potentially law enforcement.
Is this in Texas? Oh no, it's Minneapolis. All right, same thing at this point. Oh my goodness, like how is this even, I thought, first of all, when I heard the story, I thought, is this even legal? But if a student is using a computer from a school, then they agree and they allow anything for them to use the Gaggle on there. I really truly believe that someone is going to commit suicide because of this. It's so dangerous that a kid will be outed out to their family or teacher and they will go kill themselves. And then Gaggle and this school will be responsible for that child's death. Punto.
But my concern, and you're absolutely right, but on the same side, not LGBT related, but if they spot someone who is already starting to have suicidal thoughts and are able to intervene, maybe talk to their counselor, and they should have talked to the counselor, not gone straight to the parents, in my opinion. But can you have the technology and not to say, oh, we did see this coming and we couldn't do anything to stop it? I think that there is a way to find a balance in this where somebody, I guess they give it to school officials, but there's got to become some kind of policy because it can save lives, but it can also destroy lives. And I think it can be both.
And I know this is a difficult question, but that assumes that the decision maker that is going to consume the information and then share what to do with the information is a moderator that is going to be valuable. So if somebody's anti-LGBT, you can't stop them. If they're anti-Catholic, you can't stop them. If they're anti-Muslim, you can't stop them. The problem is when you open Pandora's box, the box is open. So how do you control it? That's the issue that you hear in this report that we just did on Gaggle. And I don't know what the answer to that is.
My bigger concern is, when we all get those apps and you read all the fine print that says read and nobody ever reads it, you scroll through. How many parents just scrolled through and clicked I accept?
All of them, Sarah.
Without knowing what was happening to their children. These people are watching everything their kids are doing and saying. And to me, there should have been more than just, a 3,000 word paragraph that nobody stopped to read. And there should have been a real hard conversation from the school board to the parents. This is happening. So if you want your kids to opt out, you need to opt out. And I understand, because I am a foster parent, the level of security you want, but it's a tool to be able to use with your child and sit the child down and say, you know what, we saw this and we want to get you with a counselor. We don't want to talk to your parents. We want you to be able to get this off your chest and work through it, right? And give the ownership to the kids.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're causing more harm, essentially.
This is a gigantic problem. We clearly have a mammoth privacy issue on our hands. We're talking about that. When I watch this, how is Minneapolis any different than if this application was used in Moscow against LGBT or Afghanistan?
Who's to say it's not?
And exactly right. Google is behind this platform technology. My goodness, is this an incredible example of good intent gone wrong?
Yes.
Right.
And that's the issue here. The technology is moving faster than our ability to adjudicate and evaluate what's the best way for us to manage. I faced this issue myself just today. I tried to share a video, and I got our production staff here in the studio to help me from Dropbox and Google. And Dropbox wanted permission to access my phone, to review and be able to download through Dropbox every photo I had in my phone.
Yep.
And I stopped the person helping me going, I'm not going to accept the speed of Dropbox doing this with that privacy violation of them taking everything out of my phone as access. So I ended up not doing it. But to your point of the 3,000 words, 99 out of 100 people would have just clicked accept.
And that's when you're taking the responsibility away from the parent and you're putting it into the hands of the school board and teachers, and that's not where it should be.
This is a very dangerous problem. We must keep our eye on this word.
I just don't understand why the LGBTQ needs to be, why is it in there? Why is it like a searchable? What does that mean?
Like, is there racism?
Dangerous-
Like, how about if people are racist?
dangerous
That should pop up, maybe.
It should be about illegal behavior. It should be about mental health more than anything. Because I can see some goodness of this. But spying?
But it comes down to
So
the
frustrating.
issue of the moderator decision maker.
Exactly.
For example, if the White House in 2019, let's say, was involved in an issue like this, they may say, as gay guy, John, your content's okay. But trans person, your content is not okay.
Right.
And as a result, that's what we're going to spy on. And anything that's said that's related to trans, whoop, that's the pop-up. The same administrator could say, John's okay, the trans person is not. And it's just in the eye of the seat of the person that's making the decision. That's why this privacy invasion is so incredibly dangerous.
It's just not right.
LGBTQ+ news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+ community.